Okay, students, wish you all a very, very good evening. And once again, I'm extremely sorry, right, for my webcam is not working today. But anyway, I think you all can hear me properly, right? So let's start the session, right? Competencies 2, session 2, business environment, right? I think you all can remember last week we started this, right? Api last week meka patan gatta. Hari. ඉතින් අද අපි ඒක ඉවර කරන්නයි යන්නේ. Right පුතේ. Right. Give me a minute. Right. Before that, Dishans, can I know, have we discussed about this, the differences between internal and external environment? Have we discussed this? I have made kind of a huge confusion today. Right. The reason is I have, these days I'm doing a revision for 2022 O levels, right? I am doing the same lesson for them, right? Pute, have I discussed about this one? The differences between internal and external environment? Have we? I think we have. Can someone tell me, please? Pute. Lamai. Now we are in the lesson, second competency. Pute, if you all can remember, in the first competency, it means in the last competency, I introduced what do we mean by business. We provided the base of or basics for the business and its education. I mean the study. So the second competency of the grade 10 syllabus is allocated to recognize the business environment. Business environment. Last week, if you can remember, I clearly told you how environment can change people. For an example, children, right? Think about yourself, right? See how the friends have changed your life. I think you all can remember, most of you can remember the first day where you attended your school. See the type of change that has been happening in your life now. Physically, socially, emotionally, spiritually, everything has been changed. So it means the society can change you. Puta, let me give you, right, whiteboard. Now please stay focused. And once again, students, right, Pute. Right. Pute. Can you remember, right, when I was explaining the topic of this particular lesson, I mean, business environment. Business environment. I told you it is anything, right? Internal or external. Internal or it may be external. Internal or external, right? And which can influence. This is a very powerful word, influence. Influence the business and its activities, and that is what you mean by business. Then I told you, right? The business environment is classified with two things, right? I told you they are parties. And also we have what? Forces. So today we complete the parties section. And in the following week, I'm introducing you the forces and that will be the end of the second competency. Okay, once again, if it is not a technical issue, please do not leave the meeting. Right. So Pute, now today I'm going to explain, right, the meaning of internal environment and external environment and their components. Okay, children? Good. Let's start the discussion. I'm taking you to the presentation now. Right before that, children, please complete the note when I'm asking you to do so. Let's start. Internal environment. Pute. As the name suggests, internal, right? It means different parties and forces acting within a business and affecting to a business are known as internal environment. Okay, so I think this definition is given in the tutorial as well. Those who have highlighters, so please highlight this. Pute. The internal environment is conditions, people, entities, events, and factors within an organization that influences the activities and the choices of the business. Please highlight that. Pute. Highlight that. So all these things, this can be, right? These are the influence of the parties of internal environment. Pute. Highlight this first sentence. Puta, now this is something very important. Internal environment comprises with strengths and weaknesses only. Once again, I repeat. Internal environment, or by analyzing the internal environment, you can recognize your strengths, weaknesses. Can you remember that analysis of SWOT? Can someone tell me what does it stand for? SWOT?
Strengths,
yeah, I can't hear you.
And threats.
I can't hear you properly, Pute. Louder.
Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Exactly. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. If you can remember last week, I clearly told you, strengths and weaknesses can be identified by analyzing your internal environment, while opportunities and threats can be identified by analyzing the external environment. But for the moment, we focus only on strengths and weaknesses because we discuss about the internal environment. I think everyone is listening to me very carefully. Pute, do you know this SWOT analysis can be made for yourself, right? It can be, there should be, if you like, you can follow a personal SWOT analysis. That means what? Huh? You can recognize your own strengths and weaknesses. Huh? You can, by analyzing the internal environment, you can recognize your own strengths and weaknesses. I am not a good artist, Pute, but let me try to explain it like this. Hari? Right. Let's say, main main harida main right. Main, this is your right. This is you, right? You know, right? You live around, right? You live around with your surroundings. Am I clear with you? Surroundings, right? Pute, then I told you, right, how the surroundings can affect you. Yes, if surrounding can affect you, that surrounding is equal to your environment. Right? Environment. Okay. Then I told you, right? Then I told you, there are some things, right, which are recognized as internal factors, and there are external factors too. It means, Pute, sometimes, right, Your internal factors may change your behavior, and sometimes external factors can change your behavior. Now forget about the business for a moment, right? This is the easiest way of recognizing the internal and external, right, factors. Forget about the business for a moment. Now think about yourself. Now let's see, then I told you, right? In internal environment, we can recognize strengths and also weaknesses. Weaknesses. By analyzing the external environment, you can recognize opportunities and sometimes threats. Hari. Out of these four, strengths, weaknesses, right? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, what you can control. What do you think? Out of these four, right? Can you control all these things, or can you control just a few? Dishan's very good. Now Dishan says that he can control his weaknesses. Eka hari. Echarada puluva. Onita. I think I pronounced your name correctly. Adisha. What you can control? Dishan's no. You can ever control your opportunities. Listen to me very, very carefully. You can't control opportunities or threats. Do you know, Pute? What you can control is only the internal factors, strengths and weaknesses. Right. Let's consider a strength of yours. I'm assuming a strength of you. Let's say, right? That is, you can study, right? Study in the midnight. Now, how it can be a strength of yours? Because when you look at the others, they can't do it. But if you can do it, it is a strength of your business. Okay. Now, do you see? This is something that you can control. And then let's come here. I think most of the parents would agree with this weekend, right? Weakness. That is, if you are addicted to, right, phone. If parents are listening, I think, right, they will agree with me. Pute. If you are addicted to phone, don't think it as a threat. It is a weakness. Why? It is something that you can overcome. It is something that you can control. Am I clear with you? Strengths, weaknesses. What I'm trying to tell you here is both strengths and weaknesses are controllable. You can control over them. But children, do you know, you can't ever control the opportunities or threats. For an example, let's say opportunity. Normally, right, let's say if you are studying in a, right, recognized school, and the government has given, let's say if you are studying in a government school, the government has given, right, financial assistance to your for your school. Financial assistance, right? So those things, can you control them as a student? No, you can't. But remember, it is opportunity, it is positively affected for you, right? Now a threat. Now COVID-19 is a threat for your school, right? You can't go to school regularly. right? Sometimes, right, there is, there is a depression. Why? You can't go to school every day. You can't stay close to your friends. It's a threat. But can it be controlled? No, you can't. This is the summary, children. Individually, we can scan our own life, right? Internal, external. So by scanning your, once again, please forget about the business. You can do it today. Look at yourself and recognize the strengths that you have. It means, how to recognize the strength? If something is positively affected to your life, which others can't do, that is a strength. If you are a good cricketer, if you can memorize the things nicely, if you are good in maths, if you have a good vocabulary, these are the strengths. And remember, these can be enhanced so they can be controlled. So as the weaknesses. Right? Am I clear with you? Good. Let's get back to the presentation. Pute, do you know, according to your O-level syllabus, there are 3 parties of internal environment that you have to consider. First one, write this to with the red pen. 3. Owners, managers, and employees. They are the 3 internal parties that we have to consider according to the O-level syllabus. හරිද පුතේ? හොඳට ඉගෙන ගන්න. හරි? Right. Owners. Owners, managers, and employees. Owners, managers, and employees. Right? Good. Now let's see, what does it mean by owner or owners? Once again, if you can't write it at the same moment, just quickly take a right screenshot of the slide. After that, then you can write it later. Okay. Owners. See how beautiful this definition is. The individuals providing the required capital for a business is called as owners with a red pen. Okay. This is how you define owners. Yes, normal pen, huh? Normal pen. I ask you to use the red pen here. Right? The individuals providing the required capital for a business. Right? Then, further, the financial strength, organizational knowledge, and experience of the owners stimulus the growth of the business directly. I repeat, wait a minute. Financial strengths, it means, Puta, how strong, right? How well you can provide the capital to your business. But the main thing is, listen to me, owners is the party which provides the required capital. Okay? Nobody can do it except the owner. Therefore, if you have a good financial stability and organizational knowledge and enough experience, remember that stimulus, that means that encourages the growth of the business directly. I told you, no, the idea of this particular subject is not just to give you an A pass, but one day, I told you, right, when I was starting the subject, directly or indirectly, you are going to be a part of business. Okay. So if you are going to be an owner of a business, don't forget this sentence. Financial strength or financial stability, organizational knowledge, and experience will directly affect your business as the owner of your business. Okay, Puta? Harida? Right. So I think it is given in the tutorial also. So please highlight this, Puta. Financial strength, organizational knowledge, and experience. පුතා හොඳට අහගන්න මේ හැම දෙයක්ම විභාගෙට එනවයි කියලා කියන්නේ නෑ මම. You will get a very easy paper on this. But I told you my duty is to teach you, right, everything which influences with your future. At least remember them. Right. Now let's recognize the strengths and weaknesses of the owners. Pute, once again, I'm going to send this video as a recorded session to you. If you can't write it at the moment, right, forget about it. I'm going to send the video again. Puta, look at this. These are the strengths. Owners, I told you, by analyzing the internal environment, you can recognize strengths and weaknesses. Owners is an internal environment. So these are the strengths of owners. First one, experience. A strength. If you are well experienced as the owner, it is an advantage or it is a strength to the business. Okay. Second, possessing a huge amount of capital, right? Huge amount of capital. Normal pen, Ashen, normal pen. Ashen, this should be written with the normal pen. Strengths. Experience of the owner is the first one. Second is possession of huge amount of capital. Okay. And if you like, you can write another one, right? Organizational, right, knowledge or sound organizational knowledge. Sound organizational knowledge. Another strength. A sound organizational knowledge. Right, Patio? Let's move to discuss the weaknesses. What are the weaknesses, right, can be recognized right with the owners? First one, lack of knowledge and experience. Lack of knowledge and experience. Okay, it is the first weakness. Lack of knowledge. Second one, lack of financial resources. Lack of financial resources. Today, I'm going to tell you a small story, right? It's a real story which happens to one of my best friends. Have you written this, Puti? Have you written this? Puti. Right. Right. I had a friend, right, who studied in the same university. University, not in the university, in my school. I studied at St. Peter's College, okay? St. Peter's, right? St. Peter's College, Bambalapiti, Colombo 4. I had a friend. I'm not going to tell his real name. That is not nice, right? So, for you, I'm introducing my friend as Nimal. Now, listen to me. This is a real story. Make a atta katavak. But this name is a fake. Arida? Pute, Nimal, right? I can still remember from the days, right, he was attended school. His father, right, was a wealthy person. Right? He was using his own motor vehicle for traveling. So Nimal is kind of, he had, right, this financial stability. Financial stability was there. Right? Financial stability was always with him. Now you can understand, I just told you that financial stability is a strength. Strength. Okay. And he had another strength. Not only that, his father, right, was an owner. Maybe business ඉගෙන ගන්නවා පුතා. His father was an owner of මේ මොකක්ද කියලා කාටද කියන්න පුළුවන්? මොකක්ද මේ? Can someone tell me? This stands for what? දන්නවද කියලා බලමු. PVT within brackets LTD company. බොහොම හොඳයි බෝෂා. හොඳයිනේ කට්ටියන. ඈ? මොකද්ද මේ PVT LTD කියන්නේ පුතා? Private limited company. Very good, very good. Huh? So remember, he had no problems whatsoever. Huh? Right? He was producing some materials that is required for garments in Sri Lanka. You know, but unfortunately, this Nimal, my friend, I asked him to do, after I met him, right? I met him several times. I asked him to follow, right? He didn't do his, perform well in his A-levels, right? So he had very ordinary result. But I asked him to follow, right, a diploma or degree, right? Degree in business administration. පුතාට මම මේ කියන දේවල් ලොකු දැනුම ගන්න මම හිතන්නේ තේරෙනවා මම මේ කියන දේවල්. I advised him to follow a degree or a diploma in business administration. The reason is, right, after his father, he was the only son of the family, he is going to own this company. But unfortunately, he didn't listen to me. Right? After the retirement of his father, he took over the business. Okay? But remember, even when he was taking over the business, financial stability was with him. But do you know what he didn't have? Huh? He had two weaknesses. Now, this is a strength. Pute, he didn't have, right? What? Knowledge to operate the business and its activities. And he didn't collect any experience to operate a business. You won't believe this, Puta. I met him, right, in 2000, as far as I can remember, if my memory is correct. I met him in 2014. I couldn't talk to him after that. But last year, 2020, right, 2021, where COVID-19 pandemic affected the entire country. Do you know, he had to close this or wind off this company. Unfortunate scene. Why? Right? He had one strength, but more than those strengths, his weaknesses were powerful. Now I'm going to give you a small advice. I told you that I'm teaching this subject with an idea with the target of at least to see, right, a few students of you, few people would start their own business. But running a business is, right, a huge task. You need to gather more knowledge. That is what I'm providing. Yeah, this is the base. Foundation. But after that, please do, right, if you are planning to start your own business, if you are planning to take up your father's business, please gather enough knowledge and experience before you take over that particular business. Please. Because, right, I don't want to see the same thing which happened to Nimal happening to my own students. Right? Don't ever think just by having a good financial strength or financial stability that you can survive in the business. You can't do it, Pute. Okay, good. So let's move to the presentation again. See, these are the weaknesses of owners. Right? So let's move to the second internal environment factor, manager. Puta. The individuals taking decisions to direct the resources of a business in order to achieve the objectives. Achieve the objectives. දැන් මෙතන ගොඩක් දේවල් තියෙනවා පුතාට කියලා දෙන්න. මට ඕන එක පාට කරන් යන්න පුළුවන් පුතේ. මං ඒත් එහෙම ආසනේ. හරිද? අහගන්නකෝ. Now I'm going to ask a question from you. Can you remember? මෙන්න මේවා මතකද බලන්න පුතා. Can you remember factors of anybody? What are the factors of production? ටක් ගාලා කියන්න. මම පොඩි උදව්වක් කරන්නම්. There are four. There are four factors of production. කාටද මතක? Nobody can remember. ඔන්න උත්තර එනවා. බොහොම හොඳයි. බොහොම හොඳයි. අශයින්, ජනිදු, I think you all have studied very good. Duniti, one is missing, darling. One is missing. Additions, if you can manage your own space, Puta. It doesn't matter. Right? Okay, that one box is given to write one information, right? Yes. Pute, now listen to me. Mate kita bedaru hagan. Pute, there are four factors of production. What are they? First one is land. Okay. Second, labor. Labor. Third, capital. Okay. And the last is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship. And I told you, I think I explained that entrepreneurship is, right, the factor of business which produces the business idea. මතකයි නේද පුතේ? Business idea, right? Idea. And the entrepreneurship collects, right, or regulates other business, other factors of production into a product. Okay. Entrepreneurship is, right, the factor of production which formulates and which collects the other three factors, right, to generate a product to the market. Now, I'm make මෙතනදී කතා කරේ. The reason is, right, you have to understand that entrepreneurship is connected to them. What? Owners. There's nothing to do with the entrepreneurship with others, right? Mainly the entrepreneurs are comprised with the owners. What do? They collect and provide the resources required by a business. Now, what is the topic now? Managers. What do? Managers have to control these resources appropriately. What are the resources? Land, labor, and capital. Okay. They are found by entrepreneurs, controlled by the managers. I repeat. The land, labor, and capital required by a business are provided or found by the owners or entrepreneurs, and they are controlled by managers. Okay, good. Let's move to the presentation. This is how you describe, Lamai. This is how you describe, right? Managers. The individuals taking decisions to direct the resources of a business in order to achieve the objectives. This is how you define, right? Managers of a business. Managers. managers perform different activities in a business. මේක highlight කරගන්න පුතා. Planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. If you can, please remember these 4 activities carried out by managers. Planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Okay, පුතේ මෙන්න මෙතනින් කැමති නම් රතු පෑන්නේ මොකක් හරි මෙන්න මේක ලියා ගන්න පුතා. Right? අපි මේවට කියනවා we call these things as functions of management. දැන් මම ලියා ගන්න. Planning, organizing, leading, controlling are called as functions of management or activities of management. Hurry up. Functions or activities of management. හරිද පුතාලා? පුතේ තව පොඩි දෙයක් අහගන්නකෝ. So normally we have that online evaluation after the class ne, but this week I couldn't prepare the paper because these days I'm little bit busy with 2021 A level batch. මෙතන අපේ සමහර දරුවෝ ඉන්නවා නේද A level කරන අයලා කලාගේ. ළමයි. So therefore පුතේ these days I'm preparing their papers, I am marking their papers. I am busy with that batch, but anyway it will be end by today. So from the next week onwards, don't be afraid. You will have that online evaluation covering what we have missed. I think we couldn't have that examination last week also. Therefore, we will cover both last week and this week session in the following week, right? So please study the notes. Am I clear with you, Puta? Right. Let's recognize the strengths and weaknesses of managers. Strengths, right? First one, ability to make accurate decisions. It is one strength of manager. Ability to make accurate decisions. Ability to make accurate decisions. Okay. And we have another strength. Can inspire people to act and move towards goals. Listen to me while you are writing. Most of the time, Puta, we can find very good leaders, very good managers in schools. Some principals are doing a tremendous job in motivating others, in inspiring others to move towards the goals. It's a strength to your business. What are the two strengths we have? Ability to make accurate decisions, can inspire people to act and move towards goals. Right, Puti? A strength. What are the weaknesses found in managers? Resistant to change. Do you know some managers don't like to change? They doesn't like to change. They stick with only with their idea. They don't like to accept the views of other people. Do you know how devastating that is? It's a weakness. So as a manager, while you gather, while you direct others, you must show, right, that you like to change. It is one weakness. Resistance to change. Second is poor leadership. Okay? Manager has to be a good leader. Leading, do you see? Manager has to a good planner, a good organizer, a powerful leader and a person who can control. Right? If you are not a good leader, that is a weakness. හරිද පුතේ? දැනට ඔය දෙක ලියා ගන්නකෝ. මම තව ඉස්සර ගොඩක් කියලා දෙන්න. දැනට දෙකක් ඇති. Weakness, what are the weaknesses we have? Resistance to change and poor leadership. හොඳ නේද පුතේ පාඩම? Do you see? ඔන්න පුතා මම මගේ පැත්තෙන් කරන්න ඕන හැමදේම මම ඔයා වෙනුවෙන් කරනවා. I'm preparing the tutorials. I'm preparing the presentations. If I do a physical class in schools, I don't want to use them. But for you, I have to use this because this is distance learning. I teach in a way where everybody can understand. So it generates an extra effort for me, but I'm doing it with my 100% willingness. Right? Okay. Pute, in a 15 minutes time, right? Listen to me now. Let's move to the next one. Employees. The third and the final party, right, of internal environment. Employees. First, the individuals who perform their tasks assigned using their own skills and competencies. This is how you describe employees. What is it? The individuals who perform their tasks assigned using their own skills and competencies. This is how you define employees. Hurry up. Okay. Employees. Puta, look at this. Don't you think it like this way? Their dedication and good attitudes also matter for a business to be successful. Isn't it, Pute? Isn't it? Huh? Pute, now think about, right? Think about in a business. If the employees are not dedicated, if they are not acting with good attitudes, don't you understand? The business will never be a successful one. Are we clear? So highlight these two things: dedication and attitudes. Pute. Now let's recognize the strengths of employees. First one, positive attitudes. Pute, if you are an employee, right, you can't ever say, right, no, we can't do it. You have to come up with positive. We can do it together. I can do it. Okay, sir. Right. Okay. Right. Boss, we can do it. Employees, they have to come up with positive attitudes. Something very important. Now, this is something that can be practiced for your own lives as well, children. Positive attitudes. We can do it. We can do it. Second, experience. Do you know, right? Experienced employees always have a huge demand. Do you know that? Experience. Skilled labor. Experienced employees is also called as skilled labor. This is the second strength. Experience of the owner. Sorry, experience of the employees. If your parents are working, right? I don't know, right? I don't know about your backgrounds, right? But if your parents are working in a right business connected to garments, they know this. How, right? Recognize this experienced labor or skilled labor is in the garment sector. Not only the garment sector, right? In other businesses. And what are the weaknesses we have? First one, negative attitudes. If you always say, "Ayo, we can't do it. We don't have enough resources. Our technology is less. So don't come up with those excuses and negative attitudes. It's a weakness of the business. And what else, Puta? Lack of skilled labor. All these are weaknesses. හරිද පැටි? හොඳට අහගෙන මම මේ කියන දේ. අද ලස්සන කොටසක් මම ඔයාලට කියලා දුන්නා. Internal environment. I told you by scanning the internal environment, you can recognize both strengths and weaknesses. What is a strength? Anything positive, anything internal positive, right? Or anything internal which affects positively towards achieving your goals. Positively influenced. Then weakness, something internal but negatively influencing in achieving. I told you the very beautiful word last week, obstructive, right? To achieve the goals of the business. They are weaknesses. Right. So let's get back slowly to the tutorial. So I've discussed about employees and their strengths and weaknesses. Pute. Now, look at this question. By analyzing the internal environment, a business can identify strengths and weaknesses of an organization. List down strengths and weaknesses of a business. Now, what you can write here. You can write the strengths of owners, strengths of managers, and strengths of, right, employees. They are the strengths of the business. Do you understand? Now you have written here, you have written strength, the first strength in here, the second strength in here. Now the strengths of owners become the strength of the business. Strength of managers become the strength of a business. And the strength of employees become the strength of a business. So quickly write down those 6 here. Okay, Dishans, give me a minute. Give me a minute. There should be 6 strengths, right, in a business. Why? The strengths of owners, managers, and employees become the strength of a business. On the other hand, weaknesses of managers, employees, and owners become the weaknesses of the business. Have you done it? Dishans, har the video. Right. Pute, aganoko pute me. Do you know how the questions are going to be prepared? Mama e wagයක් ළඟදීම කරනවා හොඳද? You will get a case study. අපිට කියනවා case study එකක් එනවා. You have to go through those case study and recognize the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So we are going to do a paper, right? I'm going to send you a few questions once we have completed the second competency, probably on next week. Okay. Write the strengths in here and weaknesses over here. Pute, do you know what one advantage of doing this class as an online? Right? Since I am discussing right with the presentations, we can discuss a large amount of topics, right, in a single day within a very short time. Because I don't want to write anything on the board. Explanations are very clear. Everybody can see them. So that is why I would prefer, right? Even I learned a lot of things from these online classes, Puta, to be honest. So please get used to this. This is very simple. See, you all are sitting, right? You all are right in your own houses, right? See how relaxed we are. So take the maximum advantage and don't forget, on the next week onwards, we will have that examination after the class covering what we have missed, right? In the Honda Umanavi Gigana Patio. Right. මම දැන් පොඩි ප්‍රශ්න ටිකක් අහන්න මට උත්තර දෙන්න. හරි? Right. Now please listen to me. පුතේ, right, have you finished writing the strengths and weaknesses for quick activity number 1? Good. Now I'm going to make some statements. You have to say whether is it a strength, weakness, opportunity or threat. Okay? First one, right? There is a business called business A, right? The first statement, right? Statement A is this: business has hired two experienced managers to the business. Is it a strength, weakness, opportunity or threat? Lamai. Hiring of experienced, right, managers. Duniti Veradi. Ashen Hari. Right? Net me very good puta. Duniti, it is not an opportunity to Dali. Ekamokad. Adisha, that is correct. That is correct. Adisha, that is a strength. Right? That is a strength. Statement 2. Hemamuttar dinna. The business has hired 5 skilled employees to the business. Is it a strength, weakness, opportunity or threat? Tagala kiyan. 5 skilled employees. Of course, it is a strength. It is a strength. Statement 3. Now we seem like this way. Owner wants to expand the business, but he has not enough financial stability. Is it a strength, weakness, opportunity or threat? Oshani, very good puta. Duniti niyamai. Do you understand? It is a weakness. Why? It is internal, something that you can control, but negatively influenced. Okay. Next one. Ilangika. Government has imposed a new rule which is affecting the sales of your business. I repeat. The government has imposed a new rule affecting the sales of your business. Oshani, that is not a weakness, darling. That is not, it is done by the government. No, Andrina, it is not an opportunity also. What is it? It is a threat. It's a threat. Oshani, it is not a strength either. When the government is external, right? Government is external. When they have imposed a new rule, right? New rule that affects negatively on your business. Do you understand? It is a threat. Ohoma igana gannona. Pute, I told you, right? So we are doing this, right? Not with the target of obtaining an A pass for all levels, but we have another hidden target in our lives. I told you that previously. Are we clear? Good. So today we have discussed about the internal environment and their parties. And we recognize the strengths, weaknesses, right, of the internal parties. Who are the internal parties? Now answer my questions today. Who are the internal parties of a business? Yes. Who are the internal parties? Internal parties can monada? Yes. Owners, managers, and employees. Right? By analyzing the internal environment, what we can identify? What we can identify? Yes. Strengths and weaknesses. Okay. Strengths and weaknesses. Can we control the strengths and weaknesses? Yes, we can. It means the business can. Yes. Right. Now the other thing. Puta. The strengths of the owners becomes the strength of a business. And weaknesses adheres to the owners becomes the weaknesses of the business. Strengths of the managers become the strength of the business. Weaknesses of the managers become the weaknesses of the business itself. Likewise, the employees. Am I clear with you? පුතේ ඔන්න මම තව එකක් පෙන්නන්නද? මම ඊළඟ එකටත් ලෑස්ති වෙලා ඉන්නේ. මේ තින්නේ. හරිද? මේ බලන්න. මම ඊළඟ එකටත් ලෑස්ති වෙලා ඉන්නේ. ඒත් මම මේක අද කරන්නේ නැහැ. මේ බලන්න. Composition of external environment, parties, forces, customers, opportunities, threats. දැන් ඒවයි තියෙන්නේ මොනවද external ළඟ තියෙන්නේ? In the external environment, what we can recognize? Opportunities and threats. So on the next week, we මේ බලන්න හැම දෙයකටම මම ලෑස්ති පුතා. මේ බලන්න. මේ everything is clear. හැම දෙයක්ම මම ලස්සනට පොත් කියවලා ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ textbook එක හරහා I have learned a lot of things, and this is the summary of what I have found. There are a lot of things to be taught. Lot of things, right? I'm ready with everything, but I need your support. Let's do it together. So please go through all the notes that has been completed, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. And Lamai, don't forget, on the next week, right after the class, we will have an online evaluation, right, covering the second competency entirely. Right? අපි දෙවෙනි competency එක සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම cover කරනවා online examination එකේදී. And most of the time you will get a case study also. පොඩි case study එකකුත් මම දානවා. Because at that time we can complete, right, the external environment as well. So please study, right, with a target. අපි target එකත් එක්ක අපි පාඩම කරගෙන යමු. එහෙනම් පැටියෝ, that's all for today, right? So if you have not made the payment for January, please make the payment in time. I think that for some I have personally informed, right? Please make the payment in time and send me the payment details. Okay, Puta? Then that's all for today. Until we meet again on next Monday, stay safe and God bless you. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Puta. God